Hello and welcome to ETNOW Startup Central, India's first and only daily show dedicated to startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Chandra Srikanth, joining you live from India's startup capital, Bangalore.
I'm Krishna Kumar, coming to you live from ETNOW's Mumbai studio. It's good to be back here on ETNOW Startup Central, and we have a very special guest lined up for you on the show. So I'm going to hand it back to Chandra in Bengaluru.
That's right, Krishna. You know, the big story yesterday and today in the internet space, in the cab aggregation space, to be specific, has been Uber and its mega fundraise. I mean, $3.5 billion from Saudi Arabia's sovereign fund. That's the kind of amount that Uber has raised. But, you know, the interest in India is going to be very important because Uber has specifically said that they are going to use capital from this to invest in India. So, you know, it really ups the battle stakes with Ola. It's going to be a very interesting battle. But let's hear it from the man himself. We are, of course, talking about Uber India President Amit Jain, who is talking to us exclusively today on this special episode of ETNOW Startup Central. Amit, thank you so much for talking to us. I mean, it's been a mega fundraise for Uber globally, a huge vote of confidence, as Travis Kalanick said. But, you know, you also mentioned in a statement yesterday that you are going to be investing in India. Really take us through the specifics here. What kind of investment, over how many months, you know, the quantum that we are going to see. Give us some details here.
Yeah, Chandra, we are super excited about the recent investment of $3.5 billion. With that investment, it takes our cash on our balance sheet to close to $11 billion. You know, that is a significant amount of capital, and we are very excited to have raised the money. It's further a testament to the strength of our business globally, as well, obviously, in India. From an Uber perspective, India is a very strategic market for Uber. India is the third largest market in terms of trips after China and the US, and we are committed to investing in India and doing whatever it takes to continue to grow our business here. We'd announced an investment of $1 billion last year in India, and we'll continue to invest whatever it takes from this amount as well to grow our business in India.
Amit, this is Krishna coming to you from ETNOW's Mumbai studio. So you are yet to give us a figure as far as how much of the $3.5 billion is concerned will come to India. But I just want to get a check. As of now, how much have you invested in the Indian market so far?
Yeah, I think without going into specific numbers, you know, we've invested a substantial portion of that. And again, we'll continue to invest more. You've seen a lot of investments over the last 6 months to a year, as we've invested in new products, as we've invested in customizations to our existing product for the India market, as we've built and invested in a center of excellence in Hyderabad, an engineering facility in Bangalore. So you'll see various areas of investment. We've launched several new products, and you will continue to see that over time as our focus on India continues to be resolute.
Amit, but you know, this is coming at a time when focus has just gradually shifted to unit economics, you know, better efficiency. The fact that you now have an expanded war chest, huge ammunition, you know, does it mean that this is again going to be a race to the bottom? Are we going to see more price wars, subsidies as far as the cab aggregation space is concerned?
See, for us, I mean, as far as India is concerned, Chandra, we are in an investment mode in India. And as I said, we'll continue to invest in India. You know, as we look at other markets across the world, you know, we are a company that is profitable in the US, that's profitable in Europe. Our top 30 cities make over $1 billion in profit every year. So, you know, as a business, we've matured, and we are a very profitable business in some of our countries. In India, we are in the initial phases of where we were in the US or in Europe a few years back. So we're currently in the investment phase, but you know, we are a for-profit business, and over time we'll continue to see us, you know, moving towards profitability.
Right. Amit, give us a sense of where you are now in terms of scale, market share, because, whenever we get statements from Ola, Uber, both of you have claimed victory. If we have to rely on third-party reports, I mean, there are conflicting views coming in from there as well. Give us a sense of where you are right now when it comes to market share.
Yes, for us, Chandra, our focus is on providing a product, a technology, a service that is far better than any competitor in the market. So our focus is how do you continue to improve your products, improve your efficiency, improve the quality and service of products that you provide. Across the world, we have competitors in every country. Ola is in India, you've got Didi in China, you've got Grab in Southeast Asia. Again, strongly believe our product, our quality of service is the best out there. We've continued to grow exponentially. Market share numbers are not a focus for us. That's not something we focus on. We focus on our business and how that's growing. Again, we don't have exact numbers. Our belief is we are close to a 50% market share right now from a 5% market share that we were in January of 2015. So we've come a long way, and we'll continue to invest in our products and service and our quality of products.
50% market share is a big number, Amit, but I want to ask you, Ola says its offerings are more segmented and attuned to the market here in India compared to Uber. Tell us, what is your counter to that?
See, again, as we think about customizations that we've made for the India market, you've seen a whole lot of customizations from our global product, right? We've got the advantage of having, one app, one technology stack that works in over 70 countries, over 400 cities. And that's an amazing competitive advantage compared to any other competitor. In every country, we say, okay, what are the additional things that we need to customize the product for India? So India, we launched Cash last year. India was the first market where we launched Cash to several other countries. We launched Uber Go, which was a cheaper version of our Uber X product, which was a hatchback product. We've launched bikes in a few cities. We've launched autos in a few cities. We've customized our app further to work in low network conditions, and in some cases even no network conditions if a driver partner has to end a trip. So a lot of customizations that you make to a local market. For us, again, it's the advantage of having a very solid technology platform and backbone, and then customize our products to the local market.
All right, fine, Amit, but I just want to ask you a straight question. What exactly will be your own differentiator, considering your services are, at the end of the day, similar? And more importantly, how will you, maintain quality even as the scale becomes bigger?
Quality is always a big differentiator. Our focus is on providing the best quality product, is providing the best service to both our riders as well as our driver partners. So for the rider, it's not just during a trip, but it's the entire experience of opening the app, of booking an Uber, of taking a trip, support if required after the trip. For the driver partner, it's the entire experience of the trip, of the interactions, of the support, of the payments. So from our perspective, our key focus is differentiating based on quality and differentiating based on a product. And how do you have the best quality product? We focus a whole lot on how to ensure that our service levels, our quality and our product, our quality continue to increase, as we scale. Do not compromise on quality at all. And that's definitely a key differentiator for us.
But Amit, if you look at it globally, there seems to be this huge anti-Uber alliance that's gaining ground. The likes of Didi, Lyft, and Ola also is part of that alliance. And, recently you had Apple investing $1 billion in China's Didi. So where does India really figure as far as this global battle is concerned between Uber and rest of the world, so to speak?
Yeah, so you mentioned the Global Alliance. There have been a lot of articles on the Global Alliance. For us, the Global Alliance, as it's called, has no significance. There is nothing that a Global Alliance can do that we have not done or cannot do better. So for us, it's about, how do you ensure that your product and your service and your quality is the best across all countries. You can open an Uber app in India and take a ride. You can open the same Uber app in the US. You can open the same Uber app in Singapore and get a quality of service that is Uber standard. And that is something we continue to focus on. The other is, how do you continue to increase your efficiency? How do you continue to increase your efficiency, utilize cars better, utilize assets better, which will further help us increase livelihood for our driver partners and will further help us reduce price for the riders. So how do you continue to move in that direction? One example of that is, another very exciting product announcement that we are making today is launching Uber Pool in 3 other cities, in addition to the 2 cities that we've launched them in so far in India, which have been Delhi and Bangalore. Today we are launching Uber Pool in Kolkata, in Mumbai, and Hyderabad. So again, a very super exciting development. In Delhi and Bangalore, Pool is already 25% of our rides. We expect Pool to take up, significantly in our new markets as well. And what Pool enables us to do, it's a strategic product for us, is solve some of the fundamental challenges, Chandra, that are facing our Indian cities today from a pollution and congestion perspective. So going back to my point about efficiency, if you've got one car, you can utilize it 50%, 60%. As you think about Pool, can you utilize it more than the theoretical max of 100%? Because you don't have one passenger in the car, but multiple people in the car. Can you do 3 passengers in the car? And how do you utilize the same assets and reduce the number of cars on the road because now you've got multiple people traveling? So I'll give you an example. In Delhi and Bangalore, over the last 6 months, from the beginning of this year, we've saved about 7 million kilometers being driven because people have carpooled. That's almost 300,000 liters of fuel being saved because people have carpooled. So that's when you get efficiencies. And as you bring further efficiencies in the system, you reduce price for riders and you increase your earnings and livelihood for your driver partners.
But Amit, let's talk about the regulatory environment here in India. Then in terms of regulation, are you disappointed then with the norms around surge pricing? Are we going to see the end of surge pricing very soon?
See, as we look at any area of technology, any area of innovation, if technology is disruptive, if technology is new, which it is, regulations will often follow technology. So you'll have technology going forward and regulations will follow. That's not just the case in India. It's the case in other countries. It's not just the case for our area. It's the case for all other areas as well. So our focus is how do you continue to innovate and disrupt and change and work with regulators at all levels to form regulations that are progressive, that are conducive, and that progress and move forward along with technology. We've had great interactions with the central government, and the central government released guidelines last year to govern our space which was app-based aggregators. So very progressive and forward-thinking guidelines. What we're doing now is engaging with all the state governments, because transport is a state subject, to take those guidelines and enact regulations based on those guidelines. And we're in various stages of discussions, with the state governments. We've had some phenomenal discussions and signed some great MOUs with, for example, the government of Telangana, right? Again, a very progressive government, which is one reason we also invested in a big center of excellence and customer support center in Hyderabad. And our discussion is in various levels with the various state governments, and we continue to have proactive and progressive discussions.
Amit, but you do have a problem as far as states are concerned. What about states like Karnataka, which have clamped down on app-based cab aggregators? That's why I'm asking, are you disappointed with the kind of environment you're operating in, even at a state level?
See, it's a series of conversations, and any change is not easy. Any change takes time and progressive discussions. And we are in that stage with the government of Karnataka and are very optimistic that we'll continue to engage positively and proactively and come out with guidelines and regulations that are progressive and help the society.
Finally, Amit, you mentioned Uber Pool, but apart from that, what else will you do, going forward? Because, the ban on diesel cars is inevitable, in more states going forward. Will electric vehicles be an option at all for Uber? Is this something that you will push?
Yeah, so, our focus, Chandra, as we think about, cities we serve, as we think about segments we serve, are the riders, our driver partners, and cities. From a city perspective, Uber Pool is very important to us because we talked about how it solves some of the problems of congestion, of pollution. The next frontier of importance is private car sharing. In our terminology, we call it Uber Commute, and it's a product that we've launched in Delhi and Bangalore. And that is the next frontier. We've got 70% of the cars in Delhi, Chandra, for example, have one passenger in their cars. Most of these are non-commercial cars. These are private cars. How do you enable those cars not to have one passenger but two people? Not two people but three people. And how do you reduce the number of cars on the road by 35% or by a higher number, by 50%? So as we think about what is facing our cities today, as we think about the challenges of congestion and pollution, the right focus, the right thinking is how do we get the cars on the road today to carry more people in every seat. That's the right debate. And that's what the focus of the discussions with governments is and should be as you think about how you solve some of those pain points. You can always solve congestion through public infrastructure or public transport, but those take time and those are expensive. What can you do quickly? What can you do in a few months? What can you do in 6 months? Pool is a first frontier, and the right discussion is how do you get more people in the private cars, most of which have one passenger in the car today.
Thank you so much, Amit, for talking to us. And, the timing was brilliant because you just announced that fundraise yesterday. And today, here you are talking to us exclusively on ETNOW Startup Central. A pleasure to have you on the show. And we look forward to more conversations going forward. Krishna, clearly it's going to be a very interesting battle going ahead between Uber, Ola. Question remains, if Ola again will there'll be more pressure on Ola to raise a fresh round of capital, because Uber is very clear that, they are in investment mode, growth mode, so they will not shirk away from deploying more money here. But talking about money, Krishna, I guess you have the funding meter for the week.
Oh, absolutely, Chandra. Time now for our weekly funding meter powered by Venture Intelligence. And in the week gone by,